This is not just any monitor. It's a display built for those who crave the best, right from the design, lighting, stand, ports, and down to the insane screen and refresh rate. Here's what that power looks like in real time: ultra smooth motion, vibrant colors, and zero screen tearing. This is Samsung's G81SF, also known as Odyssey G8, 27 inches, 4K resolution, and 240Hz monitor. This is released in April 2025 and comes with a Gen 4 QD-OLED pen, which is the best you can get right now. Playing FPS games like Valorant, CS2, or just chilling in AAA games. This is the best monitor for every use case. The lighting, the background lighting you saw in the intro is fully customizable and is off by default. You can turn it on by going into the OSD, Infinity Core lighting. There are many options to customize it. I usually keep it at static to just fit with my PC, but there's a lot of customizability you can do. The ambient lighting syncs beautifully within game action, adding a layer of immersion that pulls you deeper into every moment. And it's not just about specs, it's about how it feels. And with 240Hz refresh rate and OLED contrast, everything feels instantaneous and alive. Whether you are into competitive titles or cinematic adventures, this is where you want to be. In the box, you get the monitor, of course, along with a DisplayPort cable, HDMI, power brick, and manuals. No USB-C though, which might be a downside for some. At the back, you have got two HDMI 2.1 ports, one display 1.4 port, USB hub, and a headphone jack. The stand is solid with full ergonomic adjustments, tilt, height, swivel, everything. The cable management cutout is also there and is subtle and works well. Now let's talk about the performance. This is a 4K 240Hz QD OLED panel with a 0.03 millisecond response time, and it's insane. The clarity during fast-paced action is unreal. No ghosting, no tearing, just smooth, clean frames. And coming from a 1080p 240Hz monitor, I can definitely say this feels more responsive. Although it's 4K res, I expected that it should be less responsive than a 1080p monitor, but this monitor just surprised me. The blacks are deep and inky, the highlights pop, and the HDR performance is game changing. The panel is very responsive and it just feels so good to play FPS games on this. Every shot fired, every frame rendered, it all comes through exactly as intended. When it comes to OLED panels, the major concern everyone has is the risk of burn-ins. But even during extended sessions, the cooling holds up and there's zero burn-in worry thanks to the smart pixels, shifting tech, and dynamic thermal cooling, which Samsung has introduced in its recent OLED panels. The monitor also comes up with a dedicated 3-year burn-in warranty, so you don't need to worry about burn-ins. You can just enjoy your gameplay and mesmerizing visuals. The setup is plug and play, but I would still recommend installing the latest display drivers available on Samsung's website for a particular model. I'll leave a link to my particular model in the description box. And also enable HDR in Windows settings to unlock the full potential of this monitor. If you experience any kind of crashing, black screens, any issue, just make sure you are using the cables which came with this monitor itself in the box and not any cheap third-party cables. The next thing is to check whether your graphic card supports TP 1.4 at least and HDMI 2.1 or not. Otherwise, it won't be able to render the picture at 4K 240Hz. For me personally, I feel HDMI is just better in terms of color and the clarity I get, but it could be just me and specific to my setup. So just try out both the options, use the DP as well as HDMI, and keep the one which you think is better for your use case. Also, since it only comes with TP version 1.4 and HDMI version 2.1, so it does not supports natively 4K at 240 Hz because of the bandwidth limitation, but there's no need to worry because there's DSC compression working and you can experience 4K at 240 Hz without any noticeably degrade in the picture quality or performance. Also, the latest TP version 2.1 supports 4K at 240 Hz, but it's only available in 50 series GPU. So if your GPU is less than 50 series like mine, I have an RTX 3060 Ti, or if you are not planning to buy a 50 series GPU very soon, you can just stick with TP 1.4 and HDMI 2.1. There should be no issues at all. And if the else is true, then you can look for panels from MSI, LG, Asus, and Alienware which have DP 2.1 port. Let me also quickly clarify the confusion around the previous G8 model G80ST and this one. The G80ST, the previous one had Gen 3 OLED panel and had TV features, speakers, and if you see on paper, you would say that this model G81SF is a downgrade to that model, but that's not true because it's Gen 4 OLED panel being used here, which is more power efficient, better at color accuracy, and is less prone to burn-ins. Now let's talk about what I don't like about this monitor. The first thing is there's no, as I already mentioned, they are not using the latest version of DP, and given the price point, it's very high. They might have included it for future. So for me, currently it's not a problem, but if I upgrade to 50 series or more in future, I would like that my monitor had a TP version 2.1. The another issue is when you set it to auto source or like when you switch from DP to HDMI, the monitors I have used previously, they all flawlessly switch between the sources. But in Samsung, I don't know why, it just goes into sleep and I have to manually select that the source is DP or HDMI. So this is a minor issue, but I think given the price point, they should improve their OSD. So if you are looking for a monitor that truly delivers on both performance and aesthetics, this one nails it. The 4K QD-OLED panel with 240Hz refresh rate is a dream for competitive and immersive gaming alike. Yes, the OSD could have been better, the ports could have been better, but those are just small trade-offs. Overall, this is one of the best displays you can get right now. So this is it for this review, and hope you have enjoyed this video. Hope this video was helpful, and see you next time.